Good morning, everyone. I forgot to put my little microphone on. Hang on. What's everybody up to? What's going on? Welcome to Wednesday Live. Welcome to Home Built Workshop. How's everybody doing? I'm trying to get everything set up. Sorry, I'm a little bit behind. You guys all beat me here, and that's awesome. I got to bring up my preview here. Like I said, I had a little bit of a technical difficulty, which was unfortunate and really kind of frustrating. We'll talk about that in a moment. Let's see here. How do I get to this live? Live. Let's bring that up. I need a preview so I can see what's going on. Why can't I see it? Where is it? We're getting there. Hang on. I know, it's unprofessional. I'm doing this live on the thing. Hopefully everything's working okay. We're going to go here. And we're gonna bring this up. Why is it not showing today's? Bear with me, guys. I'm gonna get to this in just a moment. I don't know what's going on here. See, last week was totally different. Last week everything worked fine. My apologies. We're going to find this. I got to see if everything's working okay. Paul says the video's frozen. I'm going to get to comments too in a second. That's why I'm trying to bring... That's why I'm trying to bring up this preview here, because there it is. Okay, so there's that. There's that. We're going to bring that up. We don't want to hear that. My apologies, everyone. There. Okay, I'm going to put that up there, which means I'm going to be... there we go. So everything's working. Doesn't look frozen here on the preview. I think we're okay. I do at the moment. All right, let's go through some comments real quick before I get into what's going on around here and what you guys are working on. Sam's here. Hello, Sam. Good morning. Rick's here. Sam Packins says, good morning, Sam. And Robert's here. Robert says, howdy, Sam, and everybody. Right on. You guys are awesome. And then there's that home built guy. He says he's having technical difficulties. Time surfing. Good morning. Robert says, how's it going? Sam Packin. Robert. Hey, Time Surfing. Sam Packin's doing great. Shop's about finished, and I've started a new LP-like build. Yeah, I saw that, Rick. Right on. Sam says, is a technical difficulty that you couldn't find your coffee mug? No. I'm happy to report that's not the case. He said, yes, that's a big technical difficulty. Take your time. We'll be right here. Well, I appreciate it, Sam. Thanks for your understanding. Sam Packin says, I'll wait. Says, it's a beautiful morning here. And is it Souk or Suki? I'm not really sure. Or maybe something completely different. I'm not sure how to say it. And I don't like to mispronounce people's cities. So if you could help me out with that, Rick. I don't want to disconnect. I don't know why it's disconnecting. There, we're going to change some settings, so hopefully that'll get everything working again. This is very strange to me today. I don't know why that is. It says the stream status is poor. Don't know why that is. Anyway, let's see. Back to comments. I'm just gonna keep an eye on it and see what happens up there. Let's see. Where'd we leave off? Yeah, Paul with the Girl Scout cookies. Sam says a man needs his coffee. Very important that is. It is extremely important, especially for me, Sam. Yeah. Robert says, hey Sam, how you doing? Sam Packins, he's coming down from a cookie high. Yes, man, so many Girl Scout cookies. It's crazy. Dastardly Dave's here. Dave says, sup all. What's going on, Dave? troubleshooting stream issues here. I don't know what's up. I don't know if the internet's acting funny. I don't know. And I don't know. That's all I'm going to leave it at that. Time Surfing says doing well. Robert says been real windy here in Oklahoma. Yesterday was blowing at 32 miles an hour. This morning about 23 today. So I'm going to get to my technical difficulties in a moment. But yesterday, well, let me back up just a little bit. If you remember last week's stream, I said our weather's been really nice. Well, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday even, we were in the 60s, mid 60s. And it was incredible. The weather was awesome. Like 64, 65 degrees several of those days. And then, even on Monday, and then on Monday night, the wind picked up like 8 million miles an hour, so it seems. And yesterday was a total blizzard. Blizzard conditions anyway, I should say. School was closed. Everything, wind whipping around. It was absolutely crazy. And then by the afternoon, the sun was out. The snow was melting. The roads had all melted off. And today it's almost like it never even happened. But that is springtime weather here in the state of Colorado. That's what happens. It is not uncommon at all for stuff like that. Connecting again. I don't know why. It keeps reconnecting and disconnecting. I don't know what's up with that or what could be possibly causing it. Internet connection is good on the router. Even though the router is part of a mesh network, I am wired to the router. Yeah, I don't know. Back to your comment, Sam. Sorry. A little pop-up came and messed me up there. It says you could set up a computer that's permanently set up with YouTube streaming in mind, then you won't develop plug-in issues. Well, the computer that I'm using, Sam, it's not again right now. I don't know why. But it is strictly for me to have to do these live streams from. Oh, I turned that. So I don't know what's going on. I really don't know why it's still starting and stopping. Maybe the internet's acting funny. I wonder if I could try using my phone as a hotspot. I wonder if that would help. But anyway, at the beginning of the stream, let me jump into that, and then we'll get to what in the world's going on around here. At the beginning of the stream, I came out here about 20 minutes after 8 to get everything plugged in, connected, make sure everything's working. And I've been using the GoPro. You guys know from watching the other lives. I've been using the GoPro, just plugged in with a USB-C cable. There's a little application on the laptop that turns it in. It's called GoPro Webcam. It uses the GoPro as a webcam so that when you plug it in, it just pops up like a video source. So the problem is it wouldn't connect. The laptop would not recognize the GoPro. I don't know why. It recognizes everything else I plug into it, but it wouldn't see the GoPro. Again, GoPro problems. So definitely do not recommend. It's my opinion, but they've been very frustrating to me, and they will not provide any support to me whatsoever. Granted, this is an older model, but anyway, I digress. Wouldn't recognize it. Restarted the laptop, restarted the GoPro, restarted everything 2 or 3 times, restarted the internet. I don't know why. I was in Device Manager and it was showing in there, but nothing was working. And finally, after swapping different cords and restarting things, and I don't even know what fixed it or made it start working. It just decided to start working, I think. And now we're having weird freezing issues. So, but anyway, that was the technical difficulty. I couldn't get the GoPro to work. Go figure. Why am I not surprised? I don't like speaking badly of products, but especially something like a GoPro, because I thought they were great until I got one. maybe mine's a lemon. But anyway, all right, back to the comments. Sorry about that. Just had to let you know what was going on and sort of rant a little bit. So Sam, anyway, the computer deal, I don't know. I've got basically a separate computer here for just the live streaming. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the deal is. Rick's got a commercial. Darn it. You know, I even found a setting and I turned it to the lowest. So I don't know if that'll help. Maybe reduce the number of ads. I don't know. Okay. Paul says still jerky and freezing. That's not very nice, Paul. Don't call me that. I'm not freezing actually at the moment. No, but I'm just kidding. Anyway, I don't know what's going on. I don't. We're getting buffering and dropping stuff out. I don't know what's up. Don't know what's up. Time Surfing says I missed the mayhem yesterday. Parts of Alabama without power and downed lines. Started some brush fires. I had no idea till just now. Wow. Yeah, I don't know what. I don't know. That's crazy. No, our weather was crazy yesterday. Yeah, wild winds and snow, whiteout conditions, kind of nutty. Sam says I missed the reply due to buffering. About the computer, Sam, I was just saying that I'm using a laptop that I have specifically for streaming. It's supposed to have all the drivers. It's got the streaming software on there. It's got everything on here, and we've done several successful streams without issue. But I don't know why the issue's today. I'm blaming the GoPro, honestly. I don't know if that's the case or not, but that's the thing that was giving me problems. So probably. And if I had the funds right now, the GoPro would take a hike, and I would be using something different. That's really Dave says weather was fine last week on a cruise in the Virgin Islands. Warm yesterday at home. All 0 turns taken to shops for spring cleaning. Got to exercise the Super Duty diesel post winter. Right on. Nice. Yeah, it's about that time. Start getting things ready for spring. I'm sure you saw that. Look what's back on the workbench. Dang it. We'll jump into that momentarily too. Still trying to get caught up in comments. Again, it's back. But anyway, what are you guys working on? Leave that down in there, and then we'll get to this. I'm going to catch up on comments here. But yeah, Dashley Dave, I know what you mean. It's time to start getting things ready. Time Surfing says, you made the reverse universe mad. Better go back to the right-handed Jeff. I don't want to do that. Robert says, I backed up this little slider on the status bar at the bottom, and it unfroze and picked back up, started working again. I keep getting a pop-up here saying that that YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience interruptions, I think it said. Oh yeah, will experience buffering. I don't know what to do to fix that. I'm looking at my stats in OBS, and it says nothing. It says no dropped frames. It doesn't say any sort of issues that I could see. Where's that stats thing? Right there. It says, oh, it does say, what is that? It does say something here. It says frames. It says frames missed due to rendering lag and due to encoding lag. I don't know what that's all about. Interesting. Huh. I wonder why. Maybe you guys can help me out. If only I had an IT person to take care of this stuff for me. But the weird thing is it's not using anything for the GPU. Well, it's using 50% of the GPU and only 12% of the CPU and only 30% of the RAM. I don't know. Doesn't seem like it's working all that hard to me. I don't know why it's not doing a better job. Anyway, I'm going to keep going and kind of just keep an eye on these stats here. So, because I'm still trying to catch up on your guys' comments. I don't have time for this. Now Jimmer's here. Jimmer says, "What's up? What's going on, man? How's your day?" How are things going back on that side of the U.S.? Time Servant says those settings for fewer commercials are just a placebo. It might be, but I turned it down. Rick says he missed my comment, but it's pronounced Suki. I thought I did. I'm sorry, Rick. Yes, Sook. And then you guys are the Sukis. Paul says, is the laptop Windows-based? There you go. In a world without walls and fences, who needs windows and gates? Friends don't. My friends use Microsoft. It is Windows-based, Paul. I do not like the Mac world, and definitely not a fan of the Linux system myself. I know there's advantages to it. I just don't like doing anything with the darn command line. It's annoying to me and just not something that I want to mess with. Sam asks, are you using Kebabnet? Huh? I don't know. Robert says, my brother-in-law and his family dodged a wildfire on Myrtle Beach a couple days ago. Wow! I'm glad they didn't have to mess with that. Paul says, IT consultant here. Well, work for some Thin Mints. Fair enough. Kizzy's here. Kizzy, what's up? Kizzy says, if I shove a bunch of foam in my son's guitar while he's practicing, 1, will it dampen the sound? 2, you think he'll notice? I think he'll notice. Now, are we talking an acoustic? It actually probably would. Like, I'll bet you could fill. I've never tried this, but this is interesting. I'm thinking kind of on the fly here. You know that polyfill stuff that you use for like putting in like stuffed like pillows and whatnot? I wonder if you could. I bet you could put that in an acoustic guitar and it would dampen it, but you could still play it. I might have to try that. That sounds interesting. You jam it full, maybe not jam it full, but just fill it up with polyfill. That'd be an interesting experiment. I'm gonna have to try that. That's kind of fun. Jimmer says strikes. Yeah, I know, man. Whew. Crazy. It's crazy. Sam has some updates on the planer. You know, I've been thinking about that planer since you mentioned that, and I think you've got a little clarification here. Sam says the DeWalt thicknesser isn't double barrel as I thought, but makes sense not being double barrel due to more maintenance and additional knives to replace. That makes sense, Sam. And thank you for clarifying that, because it came into my head yesterday about that planer, and I meant to look it up, but then I got sidetracked and got to working on something else, probably because of the snow and wet weather we were having. But yeah, I was thinking about that, and just pondering how that would work. A double-sided, you know, planer blades on both sides, but sounds like it's not the case. So yeah, thank you for clarifying. I was just thinking about it. I'm like, that would be insane if that was truly what was going on. I mean, it would be cool. I really think it'd be cool. And but yeah, that makes more sense. Sempakin says that polyfill thing sounds messy. You know, I've got some polyfill somewhere. That might be a fun video experiment just to see. Will that make your acoustic more of a practice guitar? A quiet practice guitar, I should say. I don't know. I almost think I got to write that down. I really like that idea. Polyfill acoustic. There. Okay, there's that notification again saying that viewers are going to experience interruptions. Sam says, make one. Add a V8 engine. Yes, everything, and I mean everything, is better with a V8. Yes, I agree with that, Sam, 100%. So anyway, so what are you guys working on? What's on the workbench? Let's get up to speed. So this past weekend was the 3rd episode of building the new neck for the bass guitar. That thing is done. I've spent a little bit more time since that video came out finishing the setup, doing a little more fine tuning, and I think it's pretty well good to go. I'll probably just play it a little bit more, let everything settle in just to make sure everything's okay. Also, I did speak with the music director at the local school, like I mentioned in the video, and they're going to take it as a donation. I told them I still got some setup and stuff to do, So it is going to go to the school for sure, and which is kind of cool. It's going to be exciting. You know, hopefully some young musician one day will maybe get started on that bass, that old Epiphone Accubass with a brand new Haley guitar's neck. So that'll be going over there before too long. That'll be pretty awesome. So we got that wrapped up, completely taken care of, and filmed a video over yesterday. Yeah, most of it. No, Monday when it was still nice before the snow. Filmed a video on Monday talking about the Janka scale. Have you guys heard of the Janka hardness scale of wood? You know, it's where they classify the hardness of wood, and you know, how it can be helpful for choosing material for your project and stuff like that. So that one I got just a couple little editing things to do. That'll be coming out this weekend. And then the plan. You've seen this before. Unfortunately, it's back. It's back. So I'm going to catch up with comments here, and then we're going to continue here. Kizzy says, I'm trying to teach him Stairway to Heaven, and I swear I hear the first few finger-picking chords and strums when he's not even playing. Nice song to be teaching. That's awesome. Yeah. Probably, I don't know what to tell you. Earmuffs, earplugs after a while. I'm guessing you're just hearing it a ton of times, which happens when you're, you know, practicing a lot. Let's see. Oh, Rick said buffering, frozen. Oh yeah, I see that. It doesn't even say buffering. Why is it not seeing enough data? I don't understand. There's not even a setting I can change. It says no data. Stream settings. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. I'm still here, guys. Don't leave. Don't leave. I don't know what's. I'm gonna make an adjustment on settings. You may lose some quality here, but I'm trying to get this working again. I'm still here. I'm going to keep talking because I want you guys to know, in case you can't hear me. I see the video is frozen. I'm trying to get this thing back up and running. Let's see. Yeah, Sam says frozen. Rick says frozen, but audio is good. Darn it! All right. Do we have? Are we back yet? No, we are not. Well, this is weird. This is weird. Why is it not working? What else can I change here? Let's see. Change some more. I'm going to update some settings here. Paul's got some suggestion there, which actually sounds like it might help. I can't quite read it yet. I'm still changing, trying to drop quality so that the thing actually starts working. We'll try that. We're going to try that. Seems like it's working now. Maybe. My preview, it's showing it's working. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to get back to comments here, and I'm going to give this a moment to see if it starts working. Corey says, I say make everything with a C16 diesel motor. Oh, yeah, that's an option too. I just like that rumble of a V8 myself. Sam says V8 belt sander, next project. Ooh, yeah. All right, so again, it looks like the preview is working. Or not preview, the actual live. It looks like it's working. So, That's Really Dave says the hardness scale for wood sounds interesting. It is actually. It can be pretty helpful. So yeah, if it's trying to work in some other videos like that where we're kind of more of informative stuff too. So trying to projects, and then maybe something informative mixed in there somewhere, and just trying to just do some more stuff like that. Paul says you might have to drop to a command prompt, start funding commands to fix a TCP slack, and yes, command line exists and is still necessary in Windows. I know. I don't know a whole lot of command line. I don't know the prompts. I don't know that stuff. I did have for a while. I did have a computer set up as a dual boot with Ubuntu, so I could go in and play with the Linux stuff and sort of learn a little bit of that. But it just I don't know. It never clicked. But how could I? What would I be able to do to help that? I don't know how to fix that. That sounds like you're on the right track, though. Yeah. Sam says, Jeff, if my memory serves me well, you aren't the only streamer with these issues. I can remember other channels with these issues. Yeah, I mean, we're at the mercy of the internet and our hardware and the software companies. You know what I mean? And one little glitch in any of those will just make everything do weird stuff. Let's see. Jimmer says not frozen here, but keeps playing commercials. Ugh. And I turned those down. I didn't see off, but I turned them to the lowest setting. Time Servant says one stuffed animal does not seem to make a difference. Did you shove it in an acoustic? That's awesome. Robert says Daisy Tempest, who used to be in the UK making acoustic guitars, has moved to the land down under. Really? Really? I'll be darned. I did not know that. Speaking of land down under, where's Harry Dude? Hope he's doing all right. I didn't see him in here unless I skipped past a commercial. Yeah. Robert's. Oh yeah, Robert's. We just read that from Robert. Rick says video is working here. Robert says I'm back. Corey says what's wrong with the pressure washer? Thanks, Corey, for steering me back on track with the pressure washer. So this darn thing, I've talked about this before because it's not the first time it's been in the shop. So this is this thing I got for free. It's something somebody was thrown away. And instead of throwing it away, I took it and got it up and running and everything. Well, it turns out that there wasn't really a whole lot wrong with it at the time. I had to clean out the carburetor and it had a bunch of water in the gas and everything. But anyway, got it up and running. Everything's fine. A little bit later, went to use it. Didn't work all that well. Had to monkey around with, some of the valves and things. Got it working. It seems like every time I start it up, it doesn't work, and I got to fix something on there. So last year, I believe it was, I don't remember what part of the year, but last year sometime, I fired it up. It didn't work. Turns out there was some valves inside here. I forget even what they were called. I have to go back and look. That were all frozen up and not working correctly. So I replaced the valves. That was a YouTube video, and got it working again. So all was well. I keep it covered up, when it's stored for the winter and everything. I went to use it a few days ago when the weather was nice, and over the weekend. The weather was really nice, and I thought, we'll just do a little bit of cleaning with it. So I fired it up, no water, nothing coming through. Messed around with it, got water coming through a little bit, but it wouldn't build any pressure. So at that moment, I didn't really know what was going on. So I pulled the pump off, this deal down here. I don't know if you can see that or not. Should be able to, I think. I pulled that off, I went through and it's a whole bunch of little passages and O-rings and I couldn't really find anything wrong. I couldn't see what the deal was with it. I did find one O-ring that was really worn, like it had been frozen in the bore. And so I spent some time driving around town trying to find a replacement O-ring of that size. Couldn't find the exact one. Found a couple that were sort of close. Bottom line is I spent a bunch of time monkeying around. Still couldn't get it to work. So I decided, just bit the bullet, and we're going to replace the entire pump. I've been through this thing, I don't know how many times, even replaced parts. Like I said, in years past, We're going to replace the entire pump, which is not a hard job, but rather than trying to go O-ring, by seal, by each little component, and trying to research each one, I just ended up buying, I don't know if I can get to that or not. I haven't even opened it up yet. I ended up buying a whole brand new pump. So basically, you know, we're just going to pop the whole thing off, slap the new one on there, and should be back in business. I got some other maintenance stuff that I need to do to it. Kind of like Dashley Dave said, getting everything ready for springtime. And that's what this is going to be too. We're going to replace the pump. I got to change the oil, probably clean the air filter. There's also another pack of O-rings. Oh, I forgot to grab them. You can maybe sort of see it over here. You know, just to replace the O-rings on the end of this thing, because these are kind of tore up. Just that's gonna be the next video. We're just gonna get this thing fixed. But the problem was, it says frozen again. Rick says frozen again. I see the preview is working here. So I don't know. But anyway, the challenge for me was, do I spend the money? And this is going to be something in the video as well. Do I spend the money and replace the entire pump, keeping everything else? Or do I just find another used one? Because for the amount of money, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this too. For what it cost for a new pump, I could have bought, not a brand new one, but I could have went on the marketplace or, you know, or Craigslist or something like that and bought another used one, complete unit. But what was going through my mind was, okay, if I go and I buy a whole another used one from somebody, I don't know how it runs. I don't know if the pump even on that one is still broken. This one, I know runs really well. It starts really nice. It runs well, but the pump is bad. So I opted, because I know about the rest of this, I opted to replace the pump instead of just finding another used one. So there's a little bit of, you know, because I know the history. You know, it's kind of like what, you know, if your car breaks down, you know, and I don't know, maybe that's not the best example, but that's kind of just what comes to mind. If my car breaks down, I'm not just going to throw it away and get a new car. I'm going to fix the thing that's wrong with it, because I know how the rest of the car has been, you know, what kind of condition the rest of the car is. So, you know, it's not worth just tossing the whole thing away. And that's the way I felt with this. You know, I think if I replace all the O-rings on the hoses and stuff, we put a new pump on there, service the engine and all that, we're going to be back up in business, hopefully, and have a trouble-free pressure washer. That's the plan anyway. So I hope to get started on that this afternoon. I do need to, like I said, I got to finish a little bit of video scheduling stuff for the Janka hardness video, but that's going to be the next project. And that's one of those that wasn't planned. I wasn't planning to work on this. But, you know, just like around your house, you know, things come up. You go to do something and you find, you know, something needs to be fixed and repaired. And that's what this was. Like I said, I was not planning on working on this. I just wanted to use it. I wanted to use the pressure washer to clean some stuff. And it said, yeah, it's not working today. So that's the plan. That's the plan. Service it, get it ready for spring, and replace the pump. We should be good to go. Let's see. Sam says streaming issue could be because YouTube keeps messing with the system to add more ads, can knock things out of synchronization. Maybe so. Yes, Sam, I'm with you. Jimmer says not frozen here. Good. Yeah, I'm kind of trying to watch. I got it brought up on my cell phone, which is not on the Wi-Fi, so I know it's pulling right from the internet. Rick says it's hit and miss, frozen, not frozen. I know. I don't know. I apologize. I don't know what else I can do. I've already dropped the quality settings and stuff. You know, to try to make sure that there's more internet going through. I don't know what the deal is. There he is. Harry Dude's here. Harry Dude says, what's up? Sorry I'm late. Just got home from working on site. Right on, Harry Dude. Cheers. How are you doing? How's everything in Australia? We're just talking about Australia. Corey says it's better to just replace the pump on the one you have now. It'll be cheaper in the long run. Yep, that's what I thought, right? It's, you know, I know I don't know all of the history, but I know that this runs really well right now. So yeah, we're going to replace the pump and keep on trucking. Dastardly Dave says not only the money, but keeping it out of a landfill is an argument. Fair, yes. YouTuber recently did a video reviving a string trimmer. Yeah, that's another good point. Keeping it out of the landfill. Just throw it away and buy another one. I don't like to do that. There's a time and a place, I think. Like this GoPro is about, it was about that close to getting out the door, but I didn't. Anyway, but on this, yeah, you know, I got it for free, so I don't have really any money in it there. But like I said, it runs really good. I hate to just discard it and get another one just because the pump doesn't work. So, like I said, you just have to weigh the pros and cons. You know, if the thing was maybe wore out completely, maybe it ran terrible and all that kind of stuff, then that would be a different story, right? Maybe. But I think that it runs good. I mean, it starts up on a couple of pulls, and it just needs a pump. So, Kizzy coming in with a super chat. Right on, Kizzy. Thank you so much. Wanted to thank you and the chat for help in restoring some old electric and acoustic guitars a few weeks ago. Right on, Kizzy. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Right on. I'd fist bump, but it doesn't quite work through the thing. Thank you. I appreciate that. Right on. And I'm glad we were able to help you out. And as always, if you ever have more questions, we will be here. That's what we do. Robert says, it may just be more users online. What am I knocking down? Online downstream of you using up bandwidth. I mean, that's true. I don't know. I didn't do a speed test this morning to see. I should have done that. I don't have a whole lot of speed to begin with, so I need every ounce of speed I can possibly get, which is kind of challenging from time to time. So right now it says stream status is excellent. I'm going to try this. I didn't know you could even reply here. I'm learning stuff, maybe. Oh yeah, look at that. Let's see, Harry Dude says, Australia, cyclones in Queensland, bushfires in country Victoria, near friend's place, Joyce. Oh my gosh. Again? Wasn't last year bad for fires? Was that last year? Or do you guys get them like every year? Probably. Maybe. I don't know. Darn it. Harry Dude, I'm sorry to hear that. I don't like to hear of fires for anything near anywhere. So, yeah. Hopefully it stays clear of your friend's place. That's terrible. Yeah. Man. I wish everybody the best from fires or cyclones. Oh boy. Anyway. All right, where were we? Excuse me. I'm trying to check for if it's still showing dropped frames and stuff. So I'm going to go back to these stats. It is still. Let's reset that. We're just going to let this run here, these stats, for a second. And hopefully there's no missed frames. The downside is I had to decrease the quality, the output quality. So hopefully it doesn't look too terrible. It looks okay-ish on the actual live stream. But anyway, so far it's not showing dropped frames or any of that. Kitty says other streams are messing up too since yesterday. Something about dust in the sky. I mean, that could be. Oh, this is weird. So I'm sure you guys know that Starlink, you know, the internet satellites and all that stuff. You guys have heard of that, right? But have you ever seen that in the sky? We actually saw that a couple days ago when it was so weird. We were outside, it was nighttime, and my daughter just looked up and was just kind of like, what the heck? This big long line. I don't know if you knew that or not, but they all fly in a big line. It was just moving across the sky, and it was weird to see. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but kind of weird, but sort of neat, I guess. I don't know. But Kizzy, your comment on the dust made me remember that in the sky. But yeah, I don't know what's going on, and that's possible because my internet I live in a weird place. There's fiber internet around. There's like high-speed broadband stuff all over the place. I like the super high-speed stuff. Where I live, I can't get any of that. I'm like in this little bubble. It's really strange. The only way I can get internet is, at the moment anyway, it's basically wireless. It's kind of like a cell signal. There's a tower about 13 miles away up on this high ridge, and it sends out a signal. I have a little receiver dish on the side of our house that picks up that signal. Then that sends it to my router, which then does router stuff, and bam, we have internet. That makes sense if that's possibly the case, right? The dust, because it's all wireless. It's wireless from the tower from like 13 miles away. 12 miles, 13 miles, something like that. It's a long ways. So maybe, I don't know, maybe that's a thing. Sam says, try the thing about turning 4 miles of wire fencing into a huge Wi-Fi hotspot. Just pretend you don't know why people 4 miles away are suddenly suffering major migraines. I think that's a great idea. If I could make that into like a receiving antenna, that would be sweet. Harry Dude says, summer is often called bushfire season. It's a thing we just expect and wait for. I know, that's a drag. But I mean, I can see why, right? It's hot and dry, I guess. Perfect fire conditions. I mean, we get that in the summers. We'll get forest fires and pop-up fires around here. And it's terrible. Like, when it hits summertime, it's not uncommon or really even surprised. You're not really surprised even to hear about different places on fire. It sucks. I hate fire. Yeah, I don't know. That's one thing that I really don't like. I mean, campfires, that's different. Wildfires, yeah, it's the worst. Sam Packin says, yes, I saw this Starlink. Isn't that a weird site? Harry Dude says, Starlink sounds like Skynet. I don't know. Starlink's that internet satellite thing. Skynet? Maybe it is. I don't know. Are they the same? Terry's here. Terry says, hello, Jeff. Good morning, Terry. How are you this fine Wednesday morning? Right on. Oh, yeah. Here I have the schematic, the exploded diagram for this parts washer, because I was looking at trying to figure out what parts were, what parts I could replace. There's so many O-rings and stuff in there that once I started going through them, that's when I decided that, I'd just better off just replacing the whole thing. Harry Dude says, oh, Skynet from the Terminator movies. Oh, it sounds like a thing, though, Skynet. I have seen Terminator. Maybe that's why it sounded like a thing, because it's from the movies. I'm seeing on the preview there that it looks like it is kind of stuttering some. I wish I knew what settings to try to change. That might help that, Paul. I wish I knew what else I could do. Still says stream status is excellent. But I'm looking at the preview and that doesn't look excellent to me. Sam Packin says, hey, not to step on anyone's comments, but back to shop talk. Do you have a good dust collection system? Rick, you're not stepping on anybody's comments. We just get sidetracked once in a while, myself included. So anyway, dust collection. Yeah, let's talk about dust collection for a minute. Rick, I do not have a great dust collection system. Over here, I kind of have two smaller sections of my shop. One was initially more home storage, but I've sort of overtaken that with some other things in trying to make more space. But over here, I don't have, all I have are two shop vacs. I'll connect it to, mostly for my small bandsaw. I have no dust collection for the table saw, and the other one is, I just try to vacuum up whenever possible. I do have, for the CNC, I do have a small dust collector. It's totally underpowered. It's one of those Rockler Dust Right wall-mounted deals, like those 650 or 700 CFM units. Totally underpowered for what I need it for, but it sort of barely just gets by. It is like the very minimum amount of CFMs to operate sort of okay with my drum sander. I use it on the drum sander, I use it on the giant edge sander, and I use it on the CNC. I can also use it on the joiner too, but it takes too long to move stuff around, so I usually just let the joiner spill the chips on the floor, and then I vacuum up later on. But that little Rockler unit, it's pretty cool. I just wish it had a little more power. Now they do have a newer one that's like twice the CFM. I might at some point upgrade to that, but for now, that's I have what I have, and that's what I use for dust collection. Nothing super fantastic, but I do what I can. Mostly over here, I'm using, like I said, shop vacs to try to keep things cleaned up. So that's what I do, Rick. Let's see. Kizzy says, I'm in southeastern Louisiana. Humidity gets so bad in the summer, you're lucky if a lighter works, much less making a fire. Wow. A lighter doesn't even light. Man, that's crazy. Yeah, see, I grew up in the northeastern United States, in Pennsylvania, and we never really, you don't have to worry about a wildfire. I mean, you can go out in the woods, in the middle of the forest. You clear your little spot of leaves, you can build a campfire right there. Again, as long as you clear a spot and put it out, right? You got to put it out properly, but you just don't worry about that. Out here, if you did that in the forest, the forest would be gone. It would just catch on fire. Let's see. Sam says Starlink has the potential to be like Skynet. I mean, maybe. Terry says, I'm good. We're having 50+ degrees here in central Michigan. Right on. We've had that for the last several days, except yesterday. Yesterday was snowy and blizzardy, but... Rick says, going from 2.5 to 4 inch is a big game changer, and I put in a Wen fine dust system. Nice. Oh, I do have a shop built dust filter, air filter system, which I need to get some new filters for that, but it works pretty good. Harry Dude says, I'm thinking about dust collection also. Moving house soon, and I'm currently using the ducted system in the house for my tools, so I'm about to lose that. Oh yeah. Did you have you figured out, like, are you going to have a shop and all that stuff? Do you already have a space that you're going to be moving into, or is that still in the works? But yeah, dust collection is something I think a lot of us don't think about initially, right? And I think we probably should. I think it should be higher on our list. I know for me, at first I never even gave it a thought. Like, just start moving tools in and start doing work, and then you kind of think, oh gee, how am I going to do that? So I think maybe dust collection needs to be more at the beginning of our planning process. I just don't think that a lot of us, myself included, don't pay enough attention to that. Let's see. Paul says, I'll send you a link to comments for Windows to assist with networking. Do them offline from the live. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Paul. I will check those out. Jimmer says, curious if anyone sees the New York prison strikes in the news. Jim, of course I'm not going to, because I don't watch the news. I literally watch no news. But, of course, I keep up on all that stuff because that's my home area. So, yeah, it's pretty nuts. Pretty nuts. Hate to see it. Sent back in. Says the wind, fine dust is great. I used it for one day, blew out the first filter. Couldn't believe the dust. Fires here are usually human caused. A lot of times here as well, but not always. Not always. Paul says, you grew up in Pennsylvania and no wildfires? Even during Rumspringa? No, nope, not even during Rumspringa. Now, you know, things would catch on fire, but it would mostly be, I don't know, like a grass fire or a brush fire. You know, someone would be burning brush. That's a pretty common thing, right? A lot of us, we would burn our trash. You would, if you cleaned up in the springtime and you had a bunch of limbs that you would collect from the yard, you'd put them in a pile and just light them on fire, and it'd just be a brush fire. A lot of what I remember anyway would be stuff like that would just get out of control. You know, maybe we would all use 55-gallon drums for burn barrels, and you just throw your trash in there and you light it on fire and you just burn the trash. Sometimes, you know, maybe if you filled it too full, some ashes or something would spill out, or you would have a brush fire and it would get away from you. That's what I would remember. But it wouldn't be like just a massive forest fire, you know, thousands of acres kind of thing, which is unfortunately what happens a lot out here, or even a few acres. But I don't remember anything like that. Kizzy says, Harry dude, switching dust collection is so inconvenient. Dealing with it myself. Jimmer says, I collect dust on my collectibles. But yeah, my collectibles sometimes tend to collect dust too. Sam says, did you buy any UK foods? What did we do? We had tea. And what was the chocolate? We got some chocolate. What the heck was it? I can't remember the name now offhand. But we did get some tea. I tried the tea with the cream. And did I use milk or did I use, I think I used half and half. Tea with half and half in a little sugar, kind of just like I take my coffee. Rick says dust collection was one of the first things after electrical was finished. I decided I want a good system in the new shop. That's a good idea, Rick, I think. Paul says I put in dust collection when I first got shop, and I'm currently updating it as needed, but it works great for the most part. Yeah, I need to upgrade mine. I need to get a bigger one. I like the little wall-mounted unit that I have. It works for the space that I have, but it needs a little more. It needs a little more oomph. You know, just that's, I think it's 650 CFM is barely adequate. And I've also found that for mine, even though the bag never gets full, it never even gets halfway full. It starts pretty much as soon as it starts collecting material on the bottom, I have to empty it. I found out that if I don't empty it and basically keep it emptied out, it pretty much loses almost all of the suction. I don't know why it won't fill the bag, but or I can't even like begin to fill the bag. It just stops working. So I just got to keep that bag emptied, and it does okay. But it is something that I want to upgrade. Sam says, is it true that raccoons mistaken Tesla trucks for dumpsters? I read it somewhere. I don't know, probably not, because they can't climb in that. They can climb in a dumpster. Sam says Cadbury's. I don't think it was Cadbury's, because I would know Cadbury's. I can't remember what the other chocolate was. But we did get some tea, and I was not the one that liked the tea all that much. But I'm not a tea person. But I did try it for sure. Kizzy says, you got to worry about grounding. In my case, humidity, circuit size, make it as straight as possible. Then if your adapters are different sizes, oh yeah, you're trying to always change. And grounding, from depending on what you're using for the hose and all that, yeah. You get a lot of that static. Sam, that's a good point. He says tea, just like coffee, needs to be gotten used to. I understand. That makes sense. But you know what I don't understand? I don't remember, okay, getting used to drinking coffee. I just remember drinking coffee. I don't know why. Maybe my dad always drank coffee, and I remember I would take a sip, as a little kid. Maybe I always had that a little bit of that taste. But yeah, I don't know what I don't know. I don't remember. You know, what do they say? It's an acquired taste. I don't remember acquiring the taste for coffee. I keep trying tea though. Like, part of me, like I've said before, part of me wants to like tea. There's just something about it. You know, the different, especially if you get into like the herbal stuff, all the different flavors and things. We have tons of it in the house. I don't like it though. Harry Dude says, Kizzy, I'm looking for a used ducted system, as I'm very happy with how they work for my tools. Very easy to switch them on remotely. And Kizzy asks, is it PVC or aluminum? Rick says, I got a Shopsmith collector and took the manifold off. I broke it down to 3 2.5s. Oh, and used the 4-inch inlet. Works 100% better. Nice, nice. A little adapt and make it work. Sam says you can make a custom workbench with dust extractor ducting made by router. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Kind of like a downdraft type sanding table. That would be kind of neat. Have you seen those? And that's another one of those projects that I need the space for before I get into that. But yeah, there's so many cool projects to get to that, you know, I think there's never going to be a shortage of projects. And, you know, there's times when you kind of want to make something and you're like, I don't know what to make, don't know what to make. Like, then you start thinking of stuff like that. There's never a shortage, even when you think there's a shortage, because you can't think of what to make. So like I mentioned a while back, I got to make that sandpaper cabinet. That's going to be coming up at some point, but I got to get this done first. I still got to make some guitar cables, instrument cables. I got to get those done. And we're only about, let's say the 5th, we're only about a month and a week or so away from the guitar show. So I don't know if I'm going to have some of that stuff ready before the guitar show that I wanted to, but we'll see how that works out. Mike's here. Mike Johnson's here. He says, hey, sorry I'm late. Says I have to watch the replay. Mike, what's going on? Good morning. Glad you made it. Nice. Sam Packin says, not enough room in my shop. And, you know, like the radius dish and all that stuff, you know, set up there. I want to have a station for, you know, like welding. I want to have a station for leatherworking, a station for the drill press, a station for all kinds of stuff. I just think it'd be so convenient, so efficient. A router station, you know, if you had a router station with a couple of routers, but you know how much space you'd need to have all of that kind of stuff? I think that would be like super efficient though, as long as I didn't end up piling stuff on every station. If you kept every station clean, I just think it would be like so efficient because everything's set up. And that's something that I always would like, I've always wanted to have. To not have to set up, you know, especially for like building acoustic guitars. I got to set up the, you know, the Go Bar deck. If I didn't have to do that every single time, and then if I wanted to work on something else, I got to take it all back down, get it out of the way. Like to be able to leave things set up for specific tasks, I think is awesome. But it takes a ton of space. It may not be the most efficient use of space, but I think the shop, the work would be pretty efficient. I don't know, just something that I've always kind of wanted to try. Paul says, I have a 55-gallon trash can for dust collection and an a 1 micron dust bag. I changed it over to 30 micron that I'd used for years. It says, no data. Disconnecting. Why are we disconnecting? Stop disconnecting. I don't want you to disconnect. I want you to work. Nor do I want to end the stream. Oh, are we back? Sort of stuttering. Rick says, funny it freezes when you get to my comment. What? Paul says 160 square foot. Have a full wood shop in that spot and works fine. Dust collection pipe to each stationary machine. Nice. Sounds like a cool setup. Here dude says the vacuum units themselves are big steel barrels with the motors inside. I know exactly. I'm thinking again, so it's probably going to cut out. Why? I don't know what's going on. Hey, Rick's here. Rick, What's going on, Rick? How are you doing this morning? Right on. Long time no see. Hope you're doing awesome. We're experiencing some technical difficulties throughout the stream today. But anyway, I want to say thank you to all of you for sticking in there and hanging on. I don't know what's going on, but I am anxious to get to doing a little bit of troubleshooting. I'm going to check out that information Paul sent, and we'll see what we can do. Mike says I join and the stream gets flaky. No, Mike, it's been flaky the whole time. I even got started a few minutes late because it took me a half hour or so to get everything connected and working. I don't know what's going on. It's like there's some weird stuff happening here. I don't know, but I'm gonna keep at it. I'm gonna keep trying to troubleshoot. Probably gonna have to try a different camera because that was the main problem I had this morning trying to get started even before we ran into internet issues or whatever, was the darn camera. This dang GoPro decided it didn't want to do GoPro stuff. So I don't know why. But yeah, and then we got everything working and internet stream issues. I don't know what's going on. It's frustrating. Just want to get everything working. Sam says, or Sam Peckin says, me too, Sam. Keeps buffering and I'm missing replies. Sam is. Sorry, my apologies. Paul says it could be caused by all these ads for Girl Scout cookies that keep popping up. Really? Are you getting ads for Girl Scout cookies? I haven't gotten any. Robert says sunspots. I don't know. It's not too sunny here, but maybe. Yeah. Mike says, Jeff breaks the internet. Maybe. Rick is asking if that's a pressure washer. It is, Rick. I talked about it earlier. This is one that I've worked on before in a video. Replaced to get everything working. Well, I tried to use it the other day, and it wouldn't work again. So I'm going to go through. It's going to be the next, not this week's video, but next week's YouTube video. It's buffering again. I don't know why. We're back. But anyway, yes, I got to get this thing fixed up for the season, and that's going to be an upcoming project. So I don't know how many of you missed that, but yes, pressure washer. I got to fix it. It's broken. I'm doing that in a video. Sam says Jeff needs a new cell phone. I'm not even using my cell phone. I'm using a regular setup here. I'm using a laptop and a camera and a microphone, and we're streaming to the internet. I'm not even using my phone for it. But it seemed like using my phone worked a little bit better. Except everything was backwards, and it still is. Why is it backwards? No, it's not. It's not backwards. I don't know. Rick says, can you use hot water and cold? This one is not a hot water machine. I don't know why you couldn't hook it. If you had a hot water tap, I usually disconnect this to the garden hose spigot. But if you had a spigot of some sort, you could run hot water. I don't know why you couldn't. I'd have to look it up and see if they recommend not to do that, but I usually just run cold through it. Paul says, gotta go. Have a great week. Right on, Paul. Thank you for that information. I'm going to check that out. Sam says, be safe, Paul. Rick says, ciao, Paul. Rick says, yeah. Sorry, there's two Ricks. Sam Pack and Rick, and we got Rick. Right on. Yeah, but I'll be working on this pressure washer. Sam says, spigot? We say taps. Yeah, I mean, it's a water tap. It's a spigot. What? I don't know. Just call it whatever. The water thing that you get water outside of. Anyway, guys, I think it's about time. I think we're gonna wrap this up so I can get to work. Oh, we got Wounded Crow's here. Right on. What's up, Wounded Crow? Wounded Crow says, Jeff, do you have any tutorials on how to make a flat neck headstock 3x3? How do you figure out where the tuner holes go? That's a great question. Well, I'll see if I can touch base on that before we wrap this up. I guess it depends. It depends on a few things, right? So if you're doing, let's see, you're doing a flat neck. So I'm guessing like an electric guitar or a bass or something like that. for me, the best way to locate that sort of thing, if you're doing it from scratch, right? If you have nothing else to base this off of, you need to draw a full-size template. And I mean, you know, draw the nut, you know, draw the width at the end of your neck, you know, at the body, so that way you have lines, right? So you can lay the whole thing out. You can lay out, especially on the nut, you need to lay out where the strings are going to go on the nut, and you basically need to draw in those strings, right? So you need to take a long straight edge and you need to mark that out, right? So that means you have to have your bridge spacing, your string spacing at the bridge. You got to have all that information, which you should have anyway, if you're building something like that from scratch, a guitar. So you would have to draw in the strings and then project where they're going to go, right? So now if there's, what's coming to mind is something like a Martin headstock. Now I know that's not a flat headstock, and that's not really what you're talking about, but Martins, you know, they're 3-on-3, but as soon as the strings go through the nut, they like all fan out at this wildly sharp angle, and it works fine for them. It's not my favorite. When I design one, and I'm not telling you to do this, this is just my 2 cents. When I'm designing a neck or a headstock, I like the strings to go as straight as possible off the nut. If I can get them to go in a straight line off the nut right to the tuners, then to me that's better, because you've eliminated these other forces, these angular forces that the strings, when the strings go through the nut, then they angle out. Again, I'm not saying don't do that. I'm just saying I like to keep them going as straight as possible. And by doing a full-size drawing, I do that on the computer now, where I can actually move stuff, you know. Hopefully, I'm going to wait till it comes back. There we go. Looks like looks like it's back. So I'm going to so a quick try to demonstrate. Let's say this is your string and it's coming off of your neck. When let's say this is going to be the upper one, you don't want to put your tuner right in line. Your tuner is going to go basically above it, right? Or below, depending on what side of the headstock you're on, because your string is going to wrap around it. So when you're lining it up, don't line them up exactly like this. You need to offset it just a little bit. But in order to know where to do that, you got to know where your string's going to go. So I would just draw something out with including your string spacing. I mean, even if it's just the nut, right? To know where the nut is, go straight off the nut. Well, actually, it's not really straight because your strings are a bit of an angle, right? Because of the taper from bridge to nut. You got to know all that. Then you can start figuring out where you're going to put your tuners. I hope that helps. Hopefully that makes sense with my crude example there. But let's see. Rick says, I want to wash a motor off with mine. It's a Craftsman. This is a Craftsman too, Rick. I got it for free a couple years ago. You know, just one of those things that I had to keep working on, and finally decided that the best option is just to replace the pump. Terry says it's called the hose bib. Sam says, thanks for the stream today. I'd say fantastic, but it buffered loads. Not your fault. I know, Sam. I don't like it either. Sam says, is it possible for a playable laser light guitar? Probably. That'd be interesting. And Rick says, have a good day, everyone. Celebrate your day. Thanks for your patience doing the live, Jeff. Not your fault, so no need to apologize. I know, Rick, and thank you for that. But still, I feel bad because I don't want you guys to have to deal with that nonsense. It's frustrating enough for me. You should be able to just tune in and enjoy a stress-free and interruption-free live. So anyway, yeah, we're going to get this wrapped up. Like Rick said, smash that like button. I appreciate that. Smash it. I don't know why they say that, but I don't know. Anyway, do it. Hit it right now. Hit that button. Hit the subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And I'm going to wrap this up and get out of here because I got work to do. You guys probably do too. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, everybody. I appreciate it. Hope you all have an awesome week. Get some time to spend outside in the weather, as it's definitely beginning to get nicer for springtime. I'm so looking forward to it, and I hope you guys get to enjoy it. So, Sam says, be safe, everyone. Harry Dude says, cheers, folks. Catch you all next week. Jim says, I blame Peter. I blame him too, that guy. Anyway, everyone, have an awesome week. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. I'm going to get out of here now. Take care, everyone. Thank you. We're ending. Stream will stop immediately and you will no longer be live. Perfect. Take care, everybody. Thanks.